all that is real lay here, regardless of day or night. If it is, then it is the most sacred. If it is not, then my dear, what you see is just more thought. Beyond commentary, what this appearance represents is the reflection of divinity, a chance for love to heal what is seen as separate. Merged in this, a touch of sacredness, to allow the fearful so we might melt our self-judgments. Whatever is only reflects the heart. Whatever is seen out there is a gift to heal rather than tear us apart. All of life is sacred, allowing for wholeness to be. Open to this, my friend, and see yourself more deeply. This poem reminds me of a conversation that I had with someone in a classic student-teacher dialogue. And it went something like this. The student asks, "What is the most sacred thing in life?" The teacher responds, "All is complete nonsense in this life except for one thing." The student, "What is?" "Yes, exactly, but you're asking as if it's a question." "Oh, but I mean the one thing, not all of it." "If I told you the most sacred thing in life was the wave of an ocean, by default, would then not the ocean become sacred as well? How can I love the wave without also loving the ocean? If I do not have love for both of them, then I don't fully love the wave. The wave can only be because the ocean is." The student responds, "I see. Do I understand that what is being said is that there is nothing more or less deserving of divine love, deserving to be seen as sacred?" "In part, yes. Still, though, there is not the many as a real thing. Don't focus on the many or believe there are many things to love, or you will get lost as many expands infinitely." The student with the question, "All is one?" "There is only the one. The one is sacred. You are this." The student, "Wow, I love this shit." "You love because there is only love. In your love, you see wholeness, completion, unity. You fear because you think there is something other than love. There is not. There is only love. You are this." Sacred rest. It's already done. Sacred rest when it is seen that nothing is left undone. It's something that doesn't even have to be deliberated on. It doesn't even need to be questioned. This you can trust in. This you can give everything to. For whatever might arise in the mind, you can completely hand it over to this. See this deeply. See that there is not this separation, even though we imagine it to be. And of course, the appearance of this and that is what allows us to live playfully. It's only when you take it seriously, it begins to hurt. You see, the idea of you will never go away. Forever will there be a play of a separate someone. And this too is very, very okay. So do not deny this. Do not deny the appearance of this self. Simply be willing to see it for what it is. When you take this self seriously, you imprison this self. When you allow for the expression of you, without hindrance, without restriction, it is the greatest play of liberation. And we can see through our journey the difficulty in the spiritual path is trying to repress this one. Believing that there is something wrong with this one. That seems so silly and foolish at times. But my friend, this too is a part of it, not separate from anything. Seen with a very deep innocence and compassion. Do you see that there is a realness of you that never forgets this? For it is only a play of remembering and forgetting. It is that which arises and falls within the wholeness of what you already are. Sacred rest is what always is already done. In the restriction that we feel the pain that might arise, allow a transformation in how you see this. Let it be a compassionate reminder to not take yourself so seriously. Let it be a reminder that you are holding on to an idea of yourself that isn't really there. And it is life's movement to allow this pain to get your attention, to gently remind you that this hurts because you're holding on. Welcome this pain. Welcome this tension. Welcome the fear. Welcome the humanness. As you can see, there is nothing misplaced in whatever might arise. This, my friend, is the sacred rest, the complete allowing of whatever is. It's very similar to if you were to walk out into the garden for the very first time and come upon the most beautiful rose. You might have this tendency to reach out and grab it. And being unfamiliar with this experience, you recognize profound pain enters your hand as you cling on as if it's yours. Unfamiliar with this process, you wonder, where is this pain coming from? You begin stomping on the ground as you see the rose comes from there. Still the pain persists, so you remove all the petals, wondering what the hell is going on. And then after you've exhausted yourself, you realize that you're holding on to thorns. You're grabbing that which isn't meant to be grabbed. And simply in the recognition of where the pain has really come from, you slowly but yet very easily just open your hand, realizing that you don't need to grab because it's you. You don't need to hold on because you are already this. The beauty that shows itself is not here to be possessed. The beauty that shows itself is to reflect what you are. And so let this one come and let it go, knowing that it will always return to show itself in a million different ways. Have appreciation for this. The constant change of everything. To see in infinite ways the beauty of what you are, what we are, what life is. Knowing deeply that the pain only arises when you attempt to hold on. So let it go. And don't let it go simply because I tell you to let it go. Let it go because you see the truth. And it will be the most effortless letting go you will ever experience. You see, when you look upon the rose, this beauty, it blooms from within. Just like observing the wave and how it dances. It is not separate from the ocean. It is the ocean blooming. When you see a flower open up that appears to be outside of you, it is you blooming. There is no separation here. It is the sacredness of what you are. In this, we can release the beauty, to let it be. In this, we can release ourselves and let us simply be. You see that there is no finding the sacred. There is no finding this peace. There is no finding this love. It is only seen as already here. Always has been, always is, and forever will it be. It is simply what we are trying to add to it that obstructs our vision. Believing that there is something other than this, when simply there is not. It is like the movement of sadness in its most pure form is simply a recognition of beauty. When sadness becomes pain, it is identified as a loss of this beauty, not realizing that the beauty is you. The energy, the originality of this sadness is love moving. It's only when you begin to see yourself as separate from this, it becomes too much for the heart to bear. Of course, this is the pain that attempts to remind you that no, dear one, this is not gone, this is you. Yes, life is this beautiful, that you might see yourself in this way. Let it open you deeper so that this beauty might continue to bloom, so that you might see more and more and more of what exists inside of you. And this is the way of life. This is what's real. So make room for all of this, whatever wants to move, and know that it is only love. There is nothing that moves within you that is not this love. There is no wave that exists in this world that is not also the ocean. There is no raindrop that falls on the tippy top of every mountain that doesn't find its way back down to its home. For all things return from where they came. And of course, as the raindrop falls from the sky, there is this terror. Oh no! I don't know where I'm going. It crashes on the mountaintop, finding its way to a river, flowing downhill, unknown where it is going. It finds places where it is calm and peaceful, and then all of a sudden it becomes a rushing storm, crashing into rocks, finding obstacles of all shapes and sizes, and yet it continues to flow. Impossible it is that it might not return to the ocean. Impossible. For it is that already. The ocean experiencing itself in 7.5 billion different ways. 7.5 billion different raindrops. No need to trust what is around the next corner, around the next bend. We trust where it is we came from, and where it is we know we will ultimately end. Everything in between is the mystery. Everything in between is the play. And so we give ourselves over to this. We give ourselves over to each new day, not knowing what we will find, not knowing what will show itself, but we find that we really don't care. For it is impossible that it is not simply more love showing. For this is the only thing that can be. And in this recognition, such arises is this sacred rest, where you simply allow the flow to be what it is, knowing impossible it is to be out of the flow. You are the flow. Such things don't even need to be questioned. Impossible it is for you to be out of balance with life. You are life. Impossible it is for you not to be flowing in the right direction. And we relax into this. This is when the question falls. This is when there is nothing left longing to be known. This is when you give everything that you are back to what you are, allowing life to be the miracle that already is. And if there is pain that is there from the deepest part of you, just say thank you. Even if it doesn't make sense to the mind. Say thank you. Because something in you knows. Trust this one. Trust this one that you see very clearly right now is not separate from anything. Do not trust the mind. Do not trust images. Do not trust that which is not here. For that which is not here will never be here. For this here now is everything. Always. Forever. Eternally. Trust this. Trusting life is the easiest thing you will ever do when you see what life really is. It is not an efforting. It is not a trying. It is a sacred rest. It is an honor to trust in this. It is a grace that moves with a deep humility, not a smallness of being that is separate, but a recognition of the magnitude of what we are, leaving no other option than to bow to it. All that can be said is thank you, thank you, thank you. We see the reflection of this difficulty in trusting in our human relationship. The concept of trust is one where the mind says, how do I trust this person? Which is saying, how do I manipulate them to be how I think they should be? I will trust you if you don't expose my insecurity. I will trust you if you don't show me what I'm afraid of. This isn't trust. And in that, playfully, I see that there is no trusting another human being. There is trusting the one that knows that whatever is moving is the perfect play that ultimately leads everyone back to their most sincere self. And so we release everyone in this knowing that they are divinely guided, that they are moving in the ways that exposes what they are. And this is the trust for life, where we release life back to itself, knowing that whatever is arising is for the good of all. For the only thing that can come from this is a deeper recognition of love. In that there is trust in nothing else. Not a trust that something is coming, but a trust that it's already done. Oftentimes people will tell me, Tiger, it just seems like you don't care about this or that. And this is true. I don't care about this or that. I care about the whole. There is no separate piece that is more or less than another. There's only the one. And this is where my heart is. So I don't care if this side wins and if this side loses. For I know there is not such a thing as to gain or to lose. These are simply more ideas. There is no trust in this, the idea of something. There is trust in what is real. If there is the play of gain, I trust that it is perfectly placed. If there is the play of loss, I trust that it is perfectly placed. With no deliberation. No question. For everything that you think you gain, you will lose. And everything you fear you have lost will come back around. For nothing ever is really changing. And this is not to carry an intent or a focus of being positive. This is the recognition that negativity is the same as positivity. There is, again, no separation in this. There is not that which is real that is called positive. Same with negative. These are simply perspectives, two sides of the same coin. The nature of a magnet is to carry both polarities. If you don't like the negative and you attempt to cut the magnet in half, you now have two magnets with both positive and negative. Never escaping this. You can see very clearly, without clinging to this side, without running from this side. You can simply let it be. Because it's the one. And we only attempt to avoid these things because we believe there is a someone that we are that is defined by the positive. There is a someone that is defined by the negative. And that one only exists as the imagined someone, believing that it's actually looking at something, when really it's just looking at its own projection, its own self, its own creation. There is no one to be identified, because there is no one separate from this. In this recognition, there is this stillness that emerges, this quietness that allows for the obnoxious, that allows for the loud, that allows for all of the form, knowing where it comes from. That we do not need to go and create a peaceful situation. We do not need to go and create silence, for this is where everything is coming. Do you see this? That in everything the mind thinks it wants, in everything that the anxiety is attempting to move towards, is trying to get back to what is already here. The images that is desired is a representation of what already is. And so the desire that arises is saying, you are that. Not go and get that, but relax into that. To see it as already done. Oh, I really want this experience. Why? Because I want to see peace. I want to feel love. Already done. I really wish this would change. Why? Because I want to rest. Already done. It is already that. And so in this, we do not need to deny any desire. We can let it be and let us point us back to now. I really want to do this with my life. Do it now. Not the fulfillment of the image, but move as if it was done. Move as if it was already done. This is the miracle you're swimming in, that you are allowed to be what you are. But I don't know what's going to happen. Dear child, tell me when you have ever known what was going to happen. Stop pretending. Let the unknown be that which it is called, the unknown. Forever will it be this. Move as if it is already done. This is the way of being for the one who knows they are the one. When there is not a self there that is trying to add ideas to itself, there is nothing to worry about. For everything you will lose in this life, everything you fear losing, is the loss of what you are not. Do you hear me? The only thing you are afraid of losing in this life is what you are not. The only thing you will gain in this life is a deeper recognition of the love you already are.
So where are we stepping in the mistake of being in that separate?
This is not a mistake. This is an opportunity to see the illusion playing, an opportunity to see what is being identified with, believed in, so that we can allow it, show it love, and release it. And so this play of mistaken identity is part of the discovery. If we fear seeing that we are delusional, we will not move. And let's just say that within all of us is a very deep insanity. That believes we are separate, but guess what? This one that believes it is separate is still not what you are. And you can watch that too. Watch this confused one is simply another idea of a someone, another thought that reaches into yesterday and throws stones into the future. Be willing to see this one, the limited one, the fearful one, and observe it with the most compassionate eyes you can find. No different from a child afraid of the monster in the closet. Oh, dear one, you are so cute. So adorable to think that there is something to be afraid of. Because remember, as we are moving and allowing for this deeper discovery to bloom, in order for this to be done, to be seen, we must see the ways in which we withhold love. Because you are the only one that limits. And so you will need to be the one that sees. No one else can do it for you. There is no one else. And so the playful terror that arises as you move forward is a part of it. You cannot avoid this. And you see, this is what we do as a human being. We say, I want to avoid the terror. I want to avoid the potential heartbreak. I want to avoid the potential collapse of my imaginary sense of self-importance. My friend, welcome that shit. Welcome the possibility that all might collapse of what you are not. And you see the power in satsang, in what we are here holding space for together, is not that you figure out how to do it, but you let this sink. You feel this truth to your absolute core. This is the knowing not the intellectual understanding. Sure, this can make sense, but this is not what I'm pointing to. It's to allow you to feel it within everything that you are, allow you to see it in everything that is, for you to look out in the mountains and see yourself, and to see it with no doubt. And beyond the mind's understanding, this completely restructures what you are. It alters your DNA in the most real way. Resting in this love changes everything. Do you notice that in our time together in this retreat, you haven't figured out anything? You simply released any attempt to figure something out. And this is the play of what we're doing in the dance of teacher-student is the student brings a question and I destroy the question. Don't answer your question. I show you that the question isn't even there. And every question is the same question. This is what's so hilarious to me. The student thinks it's asking something new. And the question in every possible way is it possible that I'm separate from this? The question is irrelevant. Oh. And then as that question dissolves, you recognize what is there before the question even emerges. That it was already done. Do you see this? Your worth, your value, your love is never in question. Never in jeopardy. There is only a belief in the idea that it might be. And this is why questions continue to emerge, because you believe the one who asked the question. A belief in the possibility that you might be separate. So you listen to the mind. And the discovery being pointed to is that you don't even have to acknowledge the thought, even though you will. This is the play in satsang that the words that flow through destroys every argument. Not so that you figure something out, but you stop looking. That you stop buying into the idea that it's not done. And when you see that there is nowhere else for the mind to go, as every question is destroyed, you relax into what is here. You see what has always been before the mind even moved. And you connect with that as the truth of what you are. And you see that that has never been affected, that has never been touched by any play in this dimensional experience. Forever untouched is what you are, regardless of what comes and goes. And you can see this all throughout your imagined history, going back to as far as you can imagine yourself remembering. There has been this presence the entire time that only imagined something fearful, that has only imagined a separate self. And the only thing touched about that self was ideas moving. That is the only thing that has happened. And yet the truth of your being, the awakefulness that allows it all to be, has been untouched. This is the truth. And you can imagine something other than that. You can imagine someone that went through this experience and and believe in that one who has convinced themselves that this experience means I'm unlovable. This experience means I'm separate. This is all fine. You see, you're free to play that. There's no judgment there. There's no you shouldn't or you should do it another way. No, you're free to assume that you're not free. I won't even argue with you because you're free to assume that you're not free. It's a little silly, but you're free. And this is the play that happens is people come to satsang looking to convince me that they're not free. It's great job security for me. And so we pretend, which is beautiful because we get to come together and discover this miracle over and over and over again. And for me, this is the only thing that makes sense, is that I might spend my time holding space such as this. How unexciting and how unentertaining. But yet I find it to be the most beautiful thing. For the one to see itself. And I see it light up in the eyes. I see the recognition of what we are.
That was pretty boring.
Never will I tire of that. We are tiny raindrops, pretending to not be the ocean. And what a ride it becomes. The great adventure of the raindrop, flowing its way back to the ocean. Impossible it is to not return there.
All the waves you have.
Yeah.
On that blanket, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so beautiful.
That's what I'm talking about. The most simple things become a reflection of the divine.
It is just so beautiful.
You see one thing and it represents everything. You see that it's not separate.
Yeah, because the ocean and the wave is in one, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And so as we are here in this retreat together, and as you rest in this, let the gratitude sink deeper and deeper and deeper. And I caution you sincerely to stay with this, even though we have a few days left. Do not assume that you have it and you want to run with it. Don't do that.
You want to?
Don't assume
You have it.
you have it. Don't assume that the discovery is over. Stay here. Be here.
What I really saw after your response to the no question, that is that where it came from, that question, was that I really also in waves, but to really realize that in whatever you immerse yourself in or being, for instance, when you look at the television all the time with all the news coming in, and you can fool with that. Your DNA is changing into that separation that is coming from there, and then in my mind, then you become separated.
Yeah. There's a belief in the separation before you see that. And so it's not that creating separation here.
No, okay, but everything is there, so also the belief in the separation, but also in being everything.
Yeah.
But to me, that's all there.
Yeah.
So it's not only, it's only coming up through being immersed in that situation.
Yeah.
You are immersing yourself in love, or now in satsang we come to this one point of oneness and everythingness or whatever, that we feel we are.
Yeah. We are that we are.
When you say hold on to that, this, not in grabbing way, but
yeah,
in a truth way of this, then I see this play of wherever we go tomorrow,
yeah,
we will be immersed in something.
Yeah.
And that this recognition of what is needs to help being held up.
Yeah.
The truth needs to be held up. Not to get lost again.
Yeah. And if we are here in this retreat, immerse yourself in this. Devote yourself to this. And I say this because even though you might not think it, you might not believe it, your mind will try and grab it and run with it. Because it's afraid of it. And this is fine too, but there is an opportunity here to use the time wisely. And even if the joy turns into an extreme sadness, stay here. Don't go looking for the happy feeling. Don't go looking for this or that. Be with what's arising.
Really, our reflections.
Yeah.
This morning was so beautiful. With the yoga. Coming there, and Alexander was there. No one else. And then what happens in me in that moment? What the fuck do I do here? I really don't know.
Yeah.
And then Yvonne comes. And then you are coming, and Becky is coming. And then, I also shared it in that sense that really it does something with me, when people don't show up.
Yeah.
And really it does something to me to realize that in that reflection, in my life, I'm not showing up.
Yes. That's exactly what that is. Exactly what that is.
And, yeah.
And when you begin showing up for yourself, it will be absolutely irrelevant who shows up when and when.
Exactly.
And that's when you know there is a recognition. Is when you can show up and have no care about the different pieces. And so when the irritation arises, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly.
It's just an invitation. And this is why it's so important to do what you love. Because when you do what you love, you don't care. I've flown all across the country to give satsang for 2-3 people. Complete waste of money. It just doesn't matter. And I would go to these places and people were all concerned that there weren't very many people. I'm like, oh my God, you're so silly. We're here to be.
Yeah.
The number is irrelevant. And I've been sharing for 10 years now, and still in a way it's relatively small. But it's irrelevant. I'm doing what I love to do. It would be an absolute disaster for more people to be here that aren't really wanting to be here.
Sure.
And so I want to sit with the sincere one. I want to sit and totally be with what is here. Because that's the magic. That's the miracle. The miracle is not the idea of this or that. It's the reality of. And I remember 3-4 years ago, there was something that hit me that, oh my God, this is the only reason I'm here. Beyond anything else in appearance, relationship, ideas of family, ideas of career, any image of something is in no comparison to the reality of this offering. It's the only thing that matters to me because it includes everything. And those in my playful human circle that don't understand that get irritated. Which is perfect. And so I invite you to not figure out what that is for you, but to be open to seeing what that is for you. And it is not an image of something, because even as I talk about it, your mind can create an image of it, of, oh, here to do that. No. Here to be what I am. And then it expresses itself like that. The expression may change. It changes all the time. 1 minute it's writing poetry. Another minute it's sitting in satsang. And another minute it's looking at the sunset. And it's many, many things that I can completely give myself over to. And each of us are uniquely wired to move in a way that resonates for you. To completely give yourself over to. You see, it's not adding. It's not acquiring. It's not figuring it out. It's not making something. It's being. Being what is true. Regardless of all the noise around you. All of the noise around you will show you the bullshit you're holding on to. It'll show you what distracts you. It'll show you where your illusions are. It'll show you where you're putting your faith and trust in something that is not God. That is not here. That is not now. That is not what you really are. Wake up to this. Do not run away from this. Do not think you figured it out. Do not think you have it now. Stay here. Rest in what you are. Know that you know, but know that the only thing you know is the one. Beyond that, you know absolutely nothing. Trust in what you know.
Right now I can feel the change of the first days resting in this sadness and trying to figure out where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And also noticing my mind wanting to escape.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just this huge sadness. I don't really know where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And still, it's kind of okay. It's the beauty in it.
Yeah. You see, it's recognizing beauty. And when you try and escape that feeling, it feels like you're losing it. Because you're running away from it. Because it's challenging everything you think you are to expose the realness. And you can see how easy it is to try and run away from that. I want to run to a happy place. I want to run to this or that. That reaffirms I know what I'm doing. And no. Be what's real. That is where the gift is. That is where the truth is. And resting in that sadness is what's altering your system. Because you're allowing it. You're allowing it to come in. You're allowing it to be seen. And it's simply showing itself because it's begging to be seen. Not figured out. Held. Held. And this is the beauty of being in this space in satsang where we're not trying to figure it out together. But we're coming in this space where we can just hold it. No questions about it. Because all of the questions are simply leading back to an okayness with it. The question again, am I separate from this? No.
Yeah, it was very nice. Becky just touched me and just let me know it's okay. I can feel your sadness, and it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't have to explain,
Yeah.
and she doesn't have to know or to understand.
Yeah. Because we all already know. You know, and you see the beauty in our human play together. This is why we're here. Together. As a human family. This is the highest service of what you are. Not to help people figure out the problem. Not to help people get here to there, but to be. So that love might be seen. Not love as an idea, but love as a holding. And you see, as you're holding it in yourself, by default, you become this instrument that can hold it for the world. See that, my friend. The pain you are carrying is not your own. See, the imaginary person is looking, how does this relate to who I am? Where is this coming from? And so we go into our past and tell all of these stories of my mom did this, da 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 da. Trying to figure it all out. But the pain is not the pain of you as something separate. It's the pain of the one that has denied the truth. And that is in all of us. And so when you hold pain that is moving within the realness of your world, you are holding it for everyone. You are holding the sadness of everyone. It is not your pain. And you see, when you allow the falling away of the identity in the pain, of the one that is separate from the person, there's a deeper holding of it. You see, when you think it's affecting you, you get defensive. You deny, run away. But when you see that there is no one being affected, you hold it. You want to make an impact in this world? Hold what you are, because you are the world.
And in that one touch, there's this recognition of the oneness that doesn't need any words.
Mm-hmm.
It is just felt as being the one.
Mm-hmm.
That I recognize what you said about that touch. Something that.
I think I'm experiencing myself for the first time, and my tears are running, but they're not tears of sadness. Actually, they're tears of gratefulness, of holding myself really, and it's just enough. So it's like a really weird feeling of that I'm holding myself here. And during the whole satsang, I don't know what happened, but I'm totally empty, actually. There's no, it feels like I'm totally empty, and I'm really, holding as if this is me or something, and at the same time I'm holding myself. And that everything is just fine. And that this is it, and that there's nothing out there. There's nothing where I need to go to. There's nothing that I need to accomplish. I don't need to smile, or I don't need to be angry, or I don't need to be nothing. I don't need to do nothing. I'm just sitting here and I observe the tears flowing and the energy flowing through my body, like, whoa. Yeah. I feel I'm always very sensitive, but there is this flow that I feel. It's different. I don't know. I know it and I don't know it. So it's kind of like a strength. It's life. It's just holding. So I really experience now that I am life. It's kind of weird. And this body, I have seen them separate, really. And that was my question I wanted to ask you, actually.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I need to ask you that. Because I was struggling with a dear friend of mine. I had a relationship with him. We are still in kind of a relationship, but I don't give it a name anymore.
Right.
But there was a certain way of a part of myself that was looking at the body, that had something to say about the body, or which had to be different or whatever. And I felt like, oh, what a bitch you are. So I was just really, because I know that's not true, but I was seeing it, and well, I thought, okay, I need to start to be okay with whatever is there. And now I'm sitting in this feeling, that question, I knew that, but there is no question, because that other person is not there, it is here.
Yeah.
So I could always figure that out here, as even here, but I've never felt it like that, really, in my body.
Yeah.
Like, so the body is supporting me now.
Yeah. It's an instrument.
Actually, because I knew from here that I was pushing away that body,
Right.
Although it looked like a man. I was pushing that away. But I was just pushing away the strength and the instrument, actually.
Yes.
The instrument that is the vehicle for what was to really consciously flowing through me. Yeah. Or be held or whatever.
Yeah. You see, the being held is not even necessarily something that we're doing. it's recognizing again that it's done.
Yeah.
That there is this space that is holding the play of you regardless of how you show up. And you're the only one that says, I can't show up this way or this way, but yet life is embracing you. Throughout your entire life, life has said, however, you're free. And you see, this is why we call it love. Right? Not love as an idea or concept, but the reality that this is what it feels like, that we are being held, where there is nothing in life that is pushing us away. There is nothing in life that's saying no to the sincerity of you. That's what you are, is the space that allows. That's the you that has never come or gone. That's the realness. No name there. And as you're talking about these emotions and whatnot, you're realizing that they don't even have names anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's just one.
Yeah.
You see, the mind splits things up and gives it different names so that it can have a sense of understanding or a sense of control about what's happening. So we call it this and call it that. But when you see that you are the one, there is no need to identify anything. Just allowing, which makes no sense to the world. The good news is it doesn't have to, because you're the one that will live your experience.
And one more thing which I felt yesterday and talked about too, like that part of me that was kind of still helping, although there's other parts of me that they're just present and things are flowing, but there was still a part of me that was kind of helping, like in the flow of doing and getting irritated sometimes when that doing was, that somebody was not doing nothing. But it was exactly what was needed to see really, again, that the world is just only showing you, that there is still something you're holding on to, like, I want to hold on to this bag, and when I leave this. And now I just totally feel in here, like, that there is nothing else there.
Yeah.
But even, and then I also felt, and I have felt that for a while, to zip it, because that feeling in the body and the container, like the breath goes in and out, that's what I feel right now still. I feel it as there is an expansion in it. I don't know. I have always wanted to engage and do. It always gave me so much joy. I'm not saying that that's gone. But what I feel now is I don't need to do that. I don't need to engage. I don't need to, because I am here. And whatever comes out of that will show itself. Yeah.
You see, it's becoming more sincere.
Yeah.
In accordance to what you're seeing about what you are.
Yeah, exactly.
And so even the one that is caught in a world of doing, perfect.
Yeah.
It's exactly where they need to be so that they can see.
Yeah.
And this is why we don't need to comment on where anyone else is at in their life, because it's absolutely perfect. It's not better here or worse here. It's divine perfection. Divine perfection already done. And you release everyone.
Yeah.
Do you see this? That within you is the capacity to forgive the whole world.
Yeah. Totally.
See the magnitude of this. Within you is the capacity to extend freedom to the entirety of life. You are this one. As we close here, I want to play a song. And let it be a meditation for yourself to rest in the melody and to recognize this space of holding. And feel deeply that this holding is never not here. It is the foundation of everything. It is the love. And in this space of holding, you are inviting the realness of what you are, God, life, source, to enter you and replace you. To replace you, the one you think you are. Allowing this one to move you. Not to get anything, not to achieve anything. Hear me when I say this, because it's the truth. Because it's the only thing that's actually real. And so you see, you have no other choice. There's no question about it. It's the only option, which means there is no other option, which means there is not even a choice. This is the embodiment of truth, is when you disappear and life is all that remains. I bow to this because there is no other choice. The gratitude for everything. Nothing escapes this love that I am in. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.